You already know who it is, man. It's your boy PoorBoySin. The poll don't stand for poll. Now, we're about 4 to 5 months out of the original release date in NBA 2K21. And you already know, due to the NBA season being canceled, it's a potential possibility that 2K21 may be delayed. Now, in my opinion, I don't feel like they're going to delay 2K21 at all. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about that down low in the comments, but I don't feel like they're going to delay the game at all. Even though, in my opinion, I do feel like they should probably wait like 2 extra weeks to release it, you know what I'm saying, to work on some post-game fixes and bugs and things like that. But I don't think that they're going to delay this game at all. Now, like I said, we about 4 to 5 months out, you know what I'm saying, from original release day. And we usually get NBA 2K hype in July, August, a slight little bit in June. So Zach Timmerman took to Twitter, you know what I'm saying, in the month of April to ask us about some badges currently in NBA 2K20. And in my opinion, he's asking us about badges and badge balancing now, you know what I'm saying, so they can balance out the badges better for NBA 2K21. So he ran a couple of polls on Twitter, so I advise some of you guys to head to Twitter if you haven't yet. If you don't have a Twitter and you care about gameplay changes and things like that within NBA 2K, get on Twitter, man, and vote on some of these polls, as well as give your opinions when it comes to certain badges, because he ran a couple of polls asking about defensive badges, playmaking badges, finishing badges, and shooting badges. Now, the first poll that he ran was, he said, this time on a very small feature in NBA 2K20, while in my career, what do you think about being able to change your triple threat style? Now, I like the ability to be able to change our triple threat style. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about being able to change your triple threat style. But this is something very small when it comes to things being fixed and balanced in NBA 2K. Now, he went on to run 4 more polls and pretty much asking in the polls if badges are too OP, balanced just right, or not effective enough. So he got a poll for playmaking badges, he got a poll for defensive rebounding badges, finishing badges, and shooting badges. And like I said, y'all need to go into these posts and give your opinion and vote. Everybody needs to go vote because everybody complains. Now, I do have a list full of badges that I feel like should be reworked, get a small little buff, or tone down. Now, you already know I'm gonna start off with these playmaking badges here right quick. Let's start off with unpluckable. Now, when it comes to unpluckable, I spoke about unpluckable so much this year that I stopped even talking about gameplay changes, because a lot of people think my gameplay changes weren't logical when they're very logical. Now, when it comes to unpluckable, if you have Hall of Fame unpluckable and your defender doesn't have pickpocket at all whatsoever or high steal rating, there is no way in hell they should steal the ball from you. If your defender does not have pickpocket or high steal rating, there is no way in hell they should steal the ball from somebody with Hall of Fame unpluckable. Now, the only time somebody with Hall of Fame unpluckable should get the ball stolen from them is against a player with a high steal rating or a player with a high pickpocket tier. There's no way in hell you should lose the ball with Hall of Fame unpluckable and max ball handling. I'm talking about right now. I'm talking about max ball handling. Max ball handling with Hall of Fame unpluckable. You should not lose the ball. So I really feel like unpluckable needs to be reworked. It needs to be balanced between, you know what I'm saying, attempted steals and players that have pickpocket, don't have pickpocket, have a high tier rating, don't have a high tier rating, have small arms, or have maxed out long arms. All that should come into play when it comes to trying to take the ball from somebody with Hall of Fame unpluckable. But right now, in the state of NBA 2K20, Hall of Fame unpluckable is just as good as bronze unpluckable. So hopefully unpluckable gets a rework. You know, when it comes to gameplay changes, especially for the future NBA 2K, I'm pretty much going to give my opinions privately. Now, when I do videos like this, you guys will be able to hear me give my opinion publicly, but I'm done giving my opinion on Twitter, because in the beginning of NBA 2K20, it was a lot of changes that I asked for that people are asking for now, and all I could do is just slap myself on the head, slap myself in the face, because like, the entire community was trying to come down on me for asking for certain changes that they're asking for now. So just take this into note. Anytime that I'm asking for a gameplay change or giving my opinion, it's for the benefit of the entire game. It's a logical fix. It's a logical change. It's not a change to benefit me as a player. Now let's go into the next playmaking badge, which is ankle breaker. I don't feel like ankle breaker needs a big buff. I just feel like it needs to be reworked in terms of certain animations need to activate it. Bare to none animations activate ankle breaker. So in my opinion, ankle breaker, it shouldn't receive a buff, but it should be reworked to where it activates a little bit more, you know what I'm saying, in terms of certain, you know what I'm saying, animations and pulling off certain moves. Because we all know tight handles was way better than ankle breaker, and tight handles got activated just off of one move, which was the behind the back. So I'm not asking for a big ankle breaker buff, but I do believe it needs to be reworked. Now, stop and go did not work at all year. And everybody out there that still thinks that stop and go works, I'm not gonna lie, man, stop taking the pills. It's a placebo effect. It's making you think that badge works, and it really doesn't work. I used that badge almost all the way to legend. I think I took that badge off at about like Elite 1, Elite 2. Somebody who was really watching my streams, let me know down in the comments when I took off stop and go. But I took that badge off around like Elite 1, Elite 2, and I had it on damn near all year. So hopefully that badge gets reworked and actually does what it's supposed to do. Now, there's really not too much to talk about the playmaking badges. A lot of the playmaking badges are good. They work. They really don't need a buff or need to get a nerf. So let's move on talking about defensive badges. And not too many defensive badges to talk about that needs like a buff. Only thing about certain badges in this game is that there's not enough prominent badges. Like badge diversity is very small. Like everybody's pretty much using all the same badges. Nobody's using different badges because all the other badges aren't prominent enough. So Heart Crusher, I feel like Heart Crusher should deserve a buff, a small buff, a big buff, whatever. If you decide to put on Heart Crusher, you should be rewarded for it. In my opinion, Heart Crusher isn't prominent enough. I think it should receive a small buff. Now, Pickpocket. Even though I'm a playmaker, this is one of those things where I talk about things that don't benefit me at all. Pickpocket needs a buff. Now, I'm not saying it needs a big buff, but it needs a small buff. Hall of Fame Pickpocket doesn't even work. Now, in my opinion, if you put on Hall of Fame Pickpocket, man, any Hall of Fame badge you put on, you should be, now I don't want to say rewarded, but I do want to say like it should work. It should benefit you if you decide to go Hall of Fame on a certain badge, like Unpluggable, for instance. If I put Unpluggable on Hall of Fame and I'm getting the ball stolen from me by everybody, even if a person has a low steal rating or no pickpocket, then that's bad. That's very bad. So like if somebody puts on Hall of Fame Pickpocket and they're the defender and they're not getting steals, man, that's not good, man. So in my opinion, like I said, Pickpocket needs a balancing, you know what I'm saying, versus like Unpluggable, and then Unpluggable needs to like rework against, you know what I'm saying, Pickpocket and steal rating and ball handling rating. But in my opinion, a player with Hall of Fame Pickpocket should have a hard time stealing the ball from somebody with maxed out ball handling and Hall of Fame Unpluggable. Now, if somebody has Hall of Fame Pickpocket, a high steal rating, long arms, and they're trying to steal the ball from somebody with a very low ball handling and no Unpluggable, then they should get that steal a lot, man. So that's my opinion. Let's talk about Pick Dodger versus Brick Wall. Pick Dodger does not work at all. If you guys go on to these Twitter posts, I gave some of my opinions about certain badges. I think I've replied on each poll. You know what I'm saying? I voted myself. Because I care about gameplay fixes, man. I want less complaints in NBA 2K21. I want less players to complain and more players playing. You feel me? So when it comes down to Pick Dodger versus Brick Wall, Pick Dodger is non-existent. Brick Wall is so prominent. I mean, it ain't even Brick Wall. It's the screens, yo. Like, screens are so good. You don't even have to have Brick Wall on to catch somebody in a screen animation. Like, you could have on no Brick Wall. I was on my rebounding guard setting screens one day, and I was making players get caught into my screens and get screen animations that I don't even have on Brick Wall or high strength. I think screens should be, you know what I'm saying, determined by your strength, you know what I'm saying, your height, your player build, and then your Brick Wall tier. So But pick dodger does not work at all. I feel like if you have Hall of Fame pick dodger and a player does not have brick wall at all, you should be able to slide by that screen. That screen shouldn't even be there at all. Like, it shouldn't even feel like that screen is there if you have a Hall of Fame pick dodger and a player doesn't even have brick wall. Now, if it's Hall of Fame pick dodger versus Hall of Fame brick wall, then that's where it comes into balancing, like determine, like, okay, so Hall of Fame pick dodger, Hall of Fame brick wall, going head to head against each other, which cancels out. So next thing you move on to is strength. So if the strength is the same, that cancels out. Then you move on to the next thing that'll make that player either get through that screen or not get through that screen. Either make that center set that screen or not set that screen. But if it's Hall of Fame pick dodger and Hall of Fame brick wall going head to head with each other, something else should determine that defender getting through that screen. You feel me? Because like I said, if it's Hall of Fame pick dodger versus Hall of Fame brick wall, it's two Hall of Fame tiers. So what's gonna determine that defender getting through that screen? They need to let us know them type of things. Now let's move on to finishing badges. I don't want to make this video a little bit too long, but I want to open a discussion down low in the comments about badges. You know what I'm saying? Buffs, nerfs, and reworks. Now finishing badges, I feel like Showtime deserves a buff. Showtime needs to be a little bit more priming. If you decide to put on Showtime, you should benefit from it. Like I said, Showtime isn't prominent at all. Nobody even thinks to put on Showtime. If you put it on Showtime, I advise you to put it on something else. Now, Showtime may work just a little bit, but not much enough for me to want to put Showtime on. So Showtime goes hand in hand with Heart Crusher, man. It's one of them badges. Like, why do you have this on? You could put this badge. You could put these badge upgrades somewhere else. But if they buff Showtime, then it'll make people think like, hey, maybe I'll put Showtime on. Same thing with Flashy Passer. Flashy Passer is a very good badge, but the badge needs to be reworked because 90% of the passes that you throw are fumbled by the receiver. Flashy Passer is a great badge, but the badge is broken because it messes up the flashy passes. The flashy passes are inaccurate. Now, a lot of people gonna hate me for this one. Fancy footwork. I think fancy footwork should receive a small nerf. A small nerf, not a big nerf, but a small nerf to balance out hop steps. Now, if you have on Hall of Fame fancy footwork, then go ahead and hop step away. But like, I feel like the badge itself needs to be toned down just slightly, just a little bit. Not too much, but just a little bit. Now, shooting badges, it ain't too many shooting badges to talk about because it's a lot of shooting badges that either need to be reworked or removed. But quick draw, a lot of people want quick draw to be taken out the game. And let me remind you, quick draw created a balance and a skill gap when it came to players shooting the ball and not shooting the ball. And it stopped non-shooting builds from shooting the ball so consistently. So a lot of everybody out there that's asking for quick draw to be removed, remember 2K19. Don't let me take you back to 2K19 with lockdowns with 53-point rating, shooting green lights at the top of the key. Don't let me take you back to that. So I feel like quick draw needs to stay in the game. A lot of people want quick draw to be removed, but I believe it should stay. I feel like they did a good job with inserting that badge into the badge system and how it works, and making players decide if I want to make a build that's going to get me gold or Hall of Fame quick draw, or am I going to make a build that, well, I can't get quick draw at all. So to each his own on their opinion about quick draw, but that's mine. Now, high zone hunter, I feel like they should change the requirements on what it takes to get high zones. Right now it's the 25 game little, I forgot what they called it, but I feel like it should be bumped up to 50 games. 25 games is a little bit too low, and that's how I feel like they should rework hot zone hunter, by reworking the requirements it takes to receive a hot zone. A lot of people wanted to go back to where you could just glitch the micro system and glitch all your hot spots. I feel like you should earn your hot spots, but I don't feel like I feel like 25 games is a little bit too low. Now, like I said, there's multiple reworks that need to happen when it comes to shooting badges, like steady shooter, clutch shooter, and pump fake maestro, and so on. Shooting badges is probably the badge category that they can rework the most. And then you could probably move on to defensive, playmaking, and then finishing badges last. I think all the finishing badges is good in my opinion, but I want y'all to let me know down in the comments what's your favorite badge category, which badge category you feel like needs to be reworked the most, and which badge category is the most OP. Now I will say defensive or shooting badges might be the most OP in the game. Playmaking badges aren't that prominent. Like, playmaking badges could be a little bit more prominent, but they're playmaking badges. So it's like, and a lot of people, when I say playmaking badges should be more prominent, they thinking, oh, you just want ankle breaker buff. You just want to dribble all day. You want to dribble for 30 seconds. That's not what I'm saying, but those that get me know what I'm saying. But let's have a discussion about this down low in the comments. Like I said, get on Twitter. Make sure to go vote on the homie on the devs polls, Zach Timmerman. Y'all see his @ in the screenshot right here, and go vote, leave your opinion, so we all as a community can be giving our opinion on gameplay changes. Now I'm gonna catch up with y'all on the next one. Y'all be easy, stay blessed. I'm out. One.